Today I want to talk about my 5 mistakes like a photographer, what I done for beginner. And I hope you will be learn something from my mistake and you will be avoid this mistake in your photography. You don't must to do the same mistake what I make, and you maybe will be learn something new in photography and avoid this mistake. When I start my photography 7 years ago, I didn't know nothing about food photography. I only know how beautiful can be shoot, how beautiful can be photo. I like dark mood photography, but nothing more. When I buy my first camera stuff, I start to learn photography, but believe me, my first photos was terrible. Here is a few examples of these photos. Really is nothing interesting. But first thing what you can see, the lights is terrible. And this was my first mistake. I didn't understand the lights. I didn't understand how to work with lights. Sometimes when I shoot, my photo was beautiful, but I didn't understand the lights was perfect. And sometimes my photo was too bright. Sometimes was too dark. Sometimes, not sometimes, but many times, my photo was no sharp and was like, I don't understand why my photo don't look so beautiful like photo or what I see in Instagram, what I see in the newspaper or different social media. I didn't understand what I do wrong and why my photo is not so beautiful. First things what was the lights. I didn't understand the lights. I didn't know it when is the best time for shoot and use the best lights. But after 7 years, now I know where I should to work when I work with natural lights. But of course, you need the time to learn everything step by step. But first tips is lights. Understand the lights and work with the lights all the time. This is the first mistake what I make, and I hope this help you now to focus on your lights. Choose wrong background for your product photography or food photography. For beginning, I start to 5-6 years. I photography only food. I working with the food, but many times I don't understand why this food don't looks good on photo. What is wrong? Of course, for beginner, I have only few backgrounds, and I didn't understand how to work with this background. Sometimes I use the wrong backgrounds, like I do the photography, dark mood photography. Of course, I know I need something dark background, but if I using dark background like black only background, and nothing more on the background, okay, I can work with this. But if the background have something pattern was on the background, my photo completely looks different. That didn't match. Sometimes I wanted photography, dark mood photography to do, and I use bright background. And this was again my mistake. I didn't understand how choose good background to for the photo for the food what I photography. How I should focus on background, because I think, okay, I can choose that dark background will be work, but believe me, many times if I have background with the pattern, doesn't work. The background was first place, the food was second place, and this doesn't work. It was terrible, and my photo was not interesting. The food didn't match with the background, didn't match with this what I want to show, and I start to use different type of the background. I start to watching different photos, different photographer who photograph in dark mood, and learn from him how he chose the background. What is important, not background, but food. Food must be your hero. The background is second things, and that's always when I change that thing about my background. My food looks better on photos. My food was more interesting and exactly match with this what I want. Another mistake what I do, and I think a lot of food photographers do, choose wrong props for photography. Sometimes I use too big balls. I have little food. I use too big balls, and my food don't looks good. The balls or plate was bigger than my food, and this was like perspective looks wrong. Don't match with this. Don't looks up. The food didn't looks appetizer always, or I think, what is the food? Because the plate was so big and don't looks good on this. Or sometimes I use two different props. Like when I photograph mood photo, I use something what was wood, something was metal, something different material, completely doesn't work with dark mode photography. When I do the bright photography, the same. Sometimes I use completely different, what like I have wood, I have marmor, or I have like balls with completely different material. And this doesn't work together. Looks terrible. I didn't understand why my photo is like something doesn't work. But when I do a course about styling, I start understand how styling your dishes, how choose good props for good photos, for the product what you photography, for the food what you photography, how choose the props who will be matched together, make nice composition and work very good on the photo. But believe me, I need few years to learn everything. It's not that like one course about styling give me so much information. Next day I know how to work with this. No, this take me time. Everything is step to step to in photography take time. Like if you want to grow in photography, always you need time for everything. It's not happen from one day to another day. Use too many props on your photography, too many stuff. Sometimes minimalist or sometimes few props is better than too many, because too many props can distraction from your hero. What is your product or your food is hero. These props can completely take attention from this product, from these dishes. You can focus on something different. Or if you have too much props, you don't know what is the main subject, what is the hero on this photo. Believe me, I must to learn this. For beginning, I use everything. I put the spoon, I put the glass, cloves, everything. What I have, I put because I think it's nice to have more stuff on my shoot. But was mishmash, was not good, didn't looks good on photo, was completely opposite than I think. I didn't understand why it doesn't work, what I do wrong. But believe me, again, I need time to work with less props, to work with props with minimally sometimes they should, to change the props, to use different props, only few uh, for my photo, and don't put too much. When I shoot something, I learn like shoot step by step to put like I start from my product. First, I put on photo my product, my hero, what I want, and later choose the props for this exactly for these dishes. Later, I change the props or don't put extra props when I think okay, 3 4 props is perfect. I see my hero on the middle, and the hero is first things what you see, and later few things from the left or right side, and that is perfect for me. First, I start from hero, later props. But for beginner, I do opposite. I put a lot of props. Later, my hero, what is my dishes or props or product, the hero, and was mishmash. Believe me, I need time to learn this, but now I am better photographer, and I try avoid this mistake. But sometimes I forget about this, and I should have still too much props. The last mistake what I make, and it's like I think a lot of people do the same, when I learn about lights, I use all the time the same type of the lights. It's mean I didn't experiment with the lights. The mostly I work with the side lights, from one side or another side coming the lights. But when I start to change my photography and start to experiment with the lights, like using backlights or flat lay photographies, different type of the from the top the lights, I learned the photography quickly. But believe me, long time I use only lights. What is side lights? First 1 or 2 years, I scared to use different lights. I scared to grow in photography, to experiment with the lights. When I start to experiment with these lights, believe me, everything changed. I understand more which product, how to work better photography, which dishes show nice, like drinks or coffee, tea. Nice to use the backlights. Believe me, show nice texture, everything, the color, and photo looks completely different. But when I start to learn this and experiment with the lights, completely changed my photography. But this was mistake number 5. But believe me, everybody do this mistake on beginning because don't understand the lights, don't want to work with different type of the lights, or don't want experiment with the lights. The same, always we use the same background with the same props for beginning. We don't want to change this, because if we feel safe and we know how to work with this, we will be sure that's photography. But when I start to learn about photography more, experiment with lights, props, background, my photography grow. But I need time to learn this, to make this mistake and take lesson from this mistake. I hope you find something interesting for you. You will be take something for you from this my 5 mistake, and you will be avoid this mistake and grow faster in your photography. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, leave the button like and leave the comment, and see you next video.